For 3 hours and 19 minutes on Sunday, Carlos Alcaraz and Ben Shelton delivered one of the most gripping and high-quality matches of the Roland Garros tournament. Under the watchful gaze of thousands inside Court Philippe Chatrier, and countless more tuning in around the world, the two young stars went toe-to-toe in a contest that had everything: power, finesse, drama, and heart. From the opening game, it was clear this match would not be decided easily. Both Alcaraz and Shelton came out firing, each showcasing why they're among the brightest talents in the game today. Shelton's blistering serve and fearless aggression met its match in Alcaraz's lightning-quick footwork and all-court versatility. The first set alone was a mini-thriller, a full match compressed into one dramatic chapter. Shelton had his chances, 3 set points in a nail-biting tiebreak, but Alcaraz, ever composed under pressure, dug deep. With every point, the tension grew. Finally, it was the Spaniard who emerged from the breaker with a 10-8 win, pumping his fist and letting out a roar that echoed across the stadium. In the second set, the Spaniard rode that wave of momentum. His forehand was humming, his drop shots precise, and his court coverage relentless. A quick break of serve gave him the edge, and he never looked back. Shelton, for all his talent, struggled to find answers as Alcaraz pulled ahead 2 sets to love with a 6-3 showing. But Ben Shelton is nothing if not a fighter. Down 2 sets and staring down the barrel of defeat, he responded with flair and belief. The American raised his level in the third set, upping the aggression and attacking Alcaraz's serve with renewed intent. His fearless play paid off. With a break late in the set, he closed it out 6-4, throwing his arms up to a crowd that was now fully engaged in a possible comeback. The fourth set saw a true battle of wills. Each man raised his level once again, trading blows with a blend of raw power and stunning precision. Momentum swung like a pendulum, but ultimately, it was Alcaraz who held his nerve. With a late break, he moved in front and then served it out, sealing the 7-6, 8, 6-3, 4-6, 6-4 victory with a mighty serve and a relieved smile. As the crowd stood in applause, the two athletes met at the net. Their smiles, wide and genuine, lit up Court Philippe Chatrier. It was a moment that transcended competition. Two young men, warriors just seconds earlier, now stood side by side as peers and friends. Apart from being a great player, he's also a great person, Alcaraz said later, speaking to the Spanish press with admiration in his voice. Their respect for each other was palpable throughout the match. There was no trash talk, no gamesmanship, only pure competition at its finest. Both players brought out the best in each other, pushing one another to the limit. And when it was over, there were no regrets, only mutual appreciation. "We get along super well," Alcaraz continued. "Of course on the court there are no friends, we both want to win and we'll both do our best to defeat the other. But it's also important to know how to accept a defeat, even though it hurts." Those words reflected the kind of maturity and perspective rarely seen in players so young. At just 21, Alcaraz has already won 4 majors, and yet, he remains grounded. And Shelton, equally youthful and dynamic, proved that his future is just as bright. As they shared that final handshake and brief embrace, Shelton leaned in and said something to Alcaraz. It was a quiet, personal moment, one that cameras captured but microphones missed. What exactly was said? Alcaraz smiled when asked. He said, "Well, he said something but I couldn't quite hear exactly what he said," he admitted with a laugh. "It sounded nice, but I couldn't quite hear him." The moment may have been lost in translation, but the sentiment wasn't. The world saw it, felt it, and appreciated it. These two weren't just opponents, they were two stars lighting up the same sky. For Alcaraz, the win marks his 4th straight trip to the Roland Garros quarterfinals, a remarkable feat for someone so early in his career. But it wasn't just the victory that stood out, it was the way he achieved it. The resilience, the sportsmanship, the joy. For Shelton, it's another step in an upward journey that continues to impress. He didn't just challenge one of the game's elite, he did it with charisma, style, and belief. The future is calling, and both he and Alcaraz are sprinting toward it. What made this match so special wasn't just the quality of the tennis. It was the spirit in which it was played. Two young men, competing fiercely, respecting deeply, and celebrating the game they love. It was a reminder of what sport can be at its best, fierce but fair, tough but respectful. Moments like these are why people fall in love with tennis. Not just because of the winners and the titles, but because of the humanity behind the players. As Alcaraz walked off the court, waving to fans and smiling broadly, he knew this wasn't just another win. It was a memory. A match that would stay with him. And Shelton, despite the loss, walked off with his head held high. He had nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, he had everything to be proud of. They came to fight.